have about 15 minutes. Yeah, we have about 15 minutes for questions and answers or comments. So now it's time for you all to talk.
So we mute ourselves when we speak. We're not going to mute everyone all at once, right?
Right, just I think everybody's familiar now. When you're not speaking, keep yourself mute, and when you're ready to talk, just unmute yourself and bow in. I'll let you know who's getting the last word. Okay, so please.
Fernando, bowing in. Thanks, John. That was a really interesting discussion of this book. But I wanted to just to go over, even though the term is the same, even though the jhana means meditation and Zen means meditation, but it means different kinds of meditation. The meditation of the jhana and dhyana type of meditation is more the samatha meditation. While when you go to Zen, you're talking about a different type of meditation. When you talk about sudden enlightenment, and not the type of impression that enlightenment is obtained through going through all these jhanas. The fact is that the Buddha did that meditation, and he was not enlightened with that meditation. Right? I mean, the Buddha spent a lot of time perfecting the jhanas, and he felt that was not enough. The Buddha taught that the way you get enlightened is by develop insight and wisdom. And so that the stuff on the jhanas and the concentration meditation is an important way to sharpen your tool of concentration, but that's not enough. You need to move to be able to develop a different type of meditation. So that what I find interesting is that sounds like the master was way ahead of his time, but we know that Chan Buddhism or Chinese Zen, so to speak, it was deeply affected by, they incorporated Taoist ideas and Confucianism ideas. I just wonder what the type of meditation or the type of, I guess I would be a Thien type of Buddhism of the master. What influences did he have? Was it pure Vietnamese, or did he have Pure Land? It sounds like he had a strong Theravada influence in his teachings. But so if he was the first Zen master in Vietnam, what type of Zen was this? If it did he have the Taoist influence, or what? But it's just a different way of getting to this. It's to getting through the path, and the other thing I want to mention is that because we have sometimes some new students here, I always was confused by the jhanas. I felt like I was like in an elevator. First floor, first jhana, second floor, second jhana, but it's not like that. It's more of a very fluid kind of thing. It's not, and it's sort of, to me, I personally find them not useful because it doesn't really help me to develop those qualities in order to see the world a little more clearly. So I find them as good exercises to, you know, like you go to the gym and you work on your biceps. It's a good way to get you stronger for the journey. But it's, you know, you need the whole package in order to really be able to develop the kind of insight that we need to alleviate the suffering that we have. So anyway, so I just wanted to put on my 2 cents.
Happily, I'm bowing in. You know, those jhanas are kind of confusing to me too, although with John's explanations over time, I'm much more clear on what exactly they're talking about. But my personal experience and practice, just for me, this master Tang Hoi is really spoke to me, and I was so happy to see what an influence he was on Thich Nhat Hanh, whom I really find I feel like a kinship to in a spiritual way. So, and you know, those 16 methods of mindful breathing, for me, you know, you could just, you know, chant them like the ABCs or the happy birthday song and it wouldn't mean anything. But if you look at them, they take you all the way from the body to the equanimity. And that really, so it's not just about, you know, it's not about breathing. It's about being mindful of that breath and all the different aspects of one's, you know, being, which from the body all the way to the objects of mind, and the letting go of all those impurities that John was talking about, and having an equanimous mind, it takes you all there. And that suits me personally.
Ruth bowing in. I'd like to, yes, thank you, John. I'd like to first thank you. That was a very, very good presentation with a lot of thought and a lot of clarity in it. Going back to what Fernando was saying, the jhanas, to me, they're more of an explanation of a natural process. And you said, like you said very, very well, it's a flow. And you kind of naturally flow from one to another as we go through the process of meditation and as we go through the process moving from ignorance to a deeper understanding. But in my study of the jhanas, through a Theravadan monk, the jhanas themselves do not imply wisdom. It is a totally different thing. Insight brings wisdom, not the jhanas. Through the jhanas, we can clear ourselves so that we can be more open to the wisdom that comes through insight meditation. But in and of itself, which is why, like you said very well, the Buddha went through the jhanas. He went through the 8 and 9 jhanas. That was not where he got his enlightenment. He got his enlightenment through insight, through the insight, the more of the Vipassana styles of meditation. So the jhanas are kind of an explanation of the opening of those pathways, but are not in and of themselves the door that leads to full and total enlightenment, as I have understood in the studies that I've been given. Thank you. And through my own limited practice too, but I'm not I'm not at all anywhere there yet. But the study of how the mind works, I think, is a lot of what the jhanas are. This is how the mind works. And it's a fascinating study. Even if you can't do it yourself, it's a wonderful study. Yeah. So this is Ruth bowing out.
This is Dave bowing in. I just want to share that I appreciate Fernando, Ruth, everybody kind of touching on that element of confusion that can come with the jhanas, because I've found that a little bit confusing and difficult at times myself. And I mean, for me, sometimes confusing enough to just decide to come back to the breath and body. And, you know, that really being coming back to the direct experience of the moment. But at the same time, as Ruth just pointed out, you know, we're talking about the study of the mind and natural processes and flow and so forth. And so I do like to keep coming back to these topics and reintegrating them into my understanding with other stuff that I read, like neuroscience related kind of stuff. Actually, there's a book that I've been going back to off and on for a while called No Self, No Problem. And it was written by a neuroscientist. And he's applying neuroscience findings to Buddhist practice. And actually, it's a fairly simple read. I would recommend it to anybody that's interested, because it's bringing together parts and pieces of you know, maybe what we might look at in traditional teachings, but also bringing it together with more of the modern neuroscience stuff. So with stuff like that, it's always just, you know, re-examining, restudying, finding new understandings of things that we may have looked at in the past and had no idea what was being talked about. So it's all good. And John, I very much appreciate your taking us through all of that, and your slides as well, which the visuals are always helpful for me. So Dave bowing out. Thank you.
John bowing in. Let me comment a little bit about the question that Fernando posed. I think all the masters in the past, they would have used skillful means to their disciple. So I would have guessed that the same with Metta Tang Ho, he would use whatever knowledge he has in Taoism or Confucian and the local custom of the Vietnamese people to do his teaching, whichever clicks with their mind. So I would have guessed it's going to be a combination, but I think during that time, probably the majority part would be a traditional Theravada type of meditation. Another comment I've made during our meditation group is that we're fortunate in our time to have access to all the Buddha teaching materials. At the same time, we're unfortunate that we don't have a teacher that understands our level to deliver the right teaching at our level. So there are 84,001 Dharma doors, all exposed to us. We don't know which door is right for us. So my suggestion is that, yeah, it's good to be aware of all these different teaching, different methods, but if whatever method you practice that clicks with you, then go deeper into that area. Then hopefully you can gain some insight, whatever method is. Because right now, meditation teaching depend on the local, depend on, you know, area and the master. There are variety that the master tuned to the student that he's teaching. So we have to feel our way and do whatever clicks with us with our practice. John bowing out.
Richard bowing in. John, I vow to open every one of those doors. All right. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. One of the things I've taken this and put it into my, not only my personal practice, but my work practice. I deal a lot with substance users, and they bounce back from, they'll sit right in front of me and tell me, hey, I don't want to use drugs anymore. And of course they do. And so they haven't found that place to not return to. And they keep returning back. So, to get them, you mentioned that, you have to get rid of those hindrances to get up to the next jhana and so on and so forth. For my personal experience, and what I try to tell my people, my clients, is that you need to find that bliss, that the place to find where you're more willing to stay in this good, less suffering place than return to that other place. And for me, it's been very, I always have to, go, okay, why am I doing this? Where is this coming from? What greed, ignorance, and anger is driving this thought, and why am I staying here, and when I can go into a higher level of understanding? But thank you very much, John. Thank you for the talk.
Okay, who would like to have the last word for now?
Oh, so again, John, thank you very much for your presentation. Both presentations have been very, very educational to me. And one of the things that I'm always very, very thankful for is that wherever we go into the written word in Buddhism, be that scriptures and commentaries or modern writers, it always takes us back to the fact that everything begins with the breath. And when Master Tang Hoi talks about the breath and the 16 different breaths that we ought to be conscious of, sensitive to, and aware of in every second of our lives, with every breath we take. I think that that being aware of the breath in that manner, it helps us be mindful every minute of our lives, whether we are awake or sleeping or meditating, or even as I'm speaking, I am aware of my breath. And so whether you do jhanas, or you do samatha meditation, or you do vipassana meditation, or whatever your goal is, whatever you want to achieve, it all begins with the breath. And that's so basic and so fundamental and so personal and permanent in us, that we are always having, those 84,001 doors available to us to open anyone that is available at the moment when we need it. So I think it is important to remember that it really doesn't matter where we go as we progress in regards to our meditation practice, but that everything begins with the breath. And we lose the breath, we lose the connection. So, staying with the breath is, for me, sort of like the best method, and let my mind take me where it will, because we have no control over that either. The mind will go where it will. We need to be on the breath. So thank you so much.